Ooh, ooh. What is going on? What is going on, everybody? It's another day. It's another Saturday. You know, the Digital Cypha Podcast is here. Unfortunately, Dio is not with us today. He's with family, having that awesome Easter celebration with the fam. You know, he's gonna be eating well, hopefully gaming well, as we will be talking about what's been going on this week. Here we got the Don CJG. Don CJG, what is going on today?
Yo, how you doing, Ebonics?
Yes, Al.
I'm good. I'm excited to be here, man. It's another day. It's another Saturday.
So for those who don't know, you can tell by a dialect. This is brother from across the pond, up in England. You know what I'm saying? Representing the UK.
Top of the morning.
Have mercy. So we have some topics today. Well, that's been going on this week. Whew. Don.
Yo, is it? Hey, what a week, huh? What a week this was. I feel like we say this every week, right? What a week.
Oh, Lord help. So let's talk about what people may not know. All right, because we're gonna get into the biggest stuff. It's coming. But
Yes, that, yeah.
On the eastern side of the planet, Tencent has joined in with the Chinese police to take down a cheating ring. Okay.
This is interesting. Okay. I don't know about this one. I don't know this one. Okay.
So when I first heard this, I'm like, Tencent? Isn't Tencent like a publisher? Like, and they're like a huge publisher, by the way. They have stock with Epic Games and a couple of other gaming businesses in the US and around the world. This is a Chinese company. They also work with Steam to bring Chinese the China Steam into existence, which is kind of a bad taste for certain people in China who depend on the legacy Steam to get their games out and really make profit. So nothing has been said. It's still in beta, so we'll know about that once it hits the light here. But so Tencent and the Chinese police has they had this thing or raid or whatever, right? And apparently there have been some people who have been providing cheat codes online. Now this falls in line. Well, I can't say it falls in line, but it's kind of like this is where the Don CJG really, perks up his ears, because he's all about conspiracies and this and that. Especially with the EA that he's been talking about for the past two episodes in the back, in the past. So I figured, let me throw this in there. So, citing local media reports, the BBC reports that the enterprise sold cheats for popular games like Overwatch and Call of Duty Mobile. Local authorities said that the group, called Chicken Drumstick, sold cheats to hundreds of countries and regions through a website. Police reportedly seized around $46 million in assets, including luxury cars, and arrested 10 people in connection with the ring. The operation reportedly sold subscriptions costing as much as $10 per day to $200 a month for revenues of $76 million. So...
Ooh.
That's just first. We just started off with that. This is Overwatch, Call of Duty Mobile, and I think Tencent's first, their first, what is it called? Cheating ring, type of involvement with the police. I think it was with PUBG, over in China. So this is not their first roundabout, but man. That's some money.
Yeah,
coming
that's big money.
coming across, with the other thing with EA that you spoke about, this has no comparison, I would assume.
Yeah,
76
yeah.
million.
Yeah, obviously it's both kind of but the EA thing's obviously a bit more kind of backdoor than the staff themselves, but um seeing it's crazy when you hear those numbers, you realize how big that cheating market is. You know, which you think, at least for me, I think cheaters, it's just some dude loading up. Some guy in a dark room loading up some mods on his computer or whatever. Then you hear about these, all this money these guys are making. It's like, oh my, is that cheap? Literally, it realizes how huge this industry is, and obviously, like for me, I'm not really, I don't do the whole cheating thing. So, it's just crazy to hear about, I'm so blown away by hearing those numbers.
So, now, I don't know if this falls underneath your spectrum. I don't know if this is what you were going to talk about. But the second part is April Fool's was when? 3 days ago?
2 days ago.
2 days ago, right?
Wednesday?
Thursday. And on April Fool's Day, somebody had the wisest idea, right? To fake an account, saying that they're 343. Bruh. Bruh.
What is that? Oh, dude.
And then, so they used the old, banner and the person who used to be there. I don't know what his position was, but
Chris Lee.
Yeah, Don knows who this is. Don was all over this one, and all of a sudden, they're gonna say, "Oh, on April Fool's Day, Halo Infinite is yet again delayed until 2022." Now, instead of getting the usual, "No, this is garbage, not Halo,"
yeah,
right? People like Don, and with their all infinite wisdom, have came back and just basically blew a whole bunch of steam at this specific, because what it was what is it? Kotaku wrote a whole article.
Yep, Kotaku. Yep.
Don, tell us what happened.
Well, someone's made the 343 fake 343 account on Twitter.
Right.
And they put this whole kind of statement out, like, Halo Infinite's been delayed to summer 2022, which is also a very strange release date. Like, come on.
That's almost a full year and maybe a quarter.
Yeah, and it just kind of caught a lot of traction, mainly because Kotaku, big website, right? I'm not a big user of Kotaku at all, but they're a pretty big news outlet for the gaming industry. And they put out this whole article, and I don't know who writ it per se, but they believed it and they got got, and they put that out in their publication, and it just spread like wildfire throughout the internet from that point on.
It's crazy. And and not only that, but even Xbox threw a little bit of puns at them.
Oh yeah,
it was crazy.
Yeah, it was Xbox, the Halo account. John Unicek, the community manager, he even commented on, like, "Are you just trying to make my job harder?" I was just like, "Oh no." I felt bad for him. I was watching his stream last night and I was like, "Oh, dude." Yeah.
Wow.
It's just crazy, man. But it was just so, like, anyone who's in the loop at all with that game would be able to tell in a second that it was just false,
So you're telling me that Kotaku, right, was not in the loop on the development of Halo? And they haven't seen all the Halo Waypoint news or whatever it is that goes on.
Yeah.
And I guess the number of drops that 343 has been putting out to their community, they didn't pay attention to any of that. It only dawned on them when they heard that Halo was going to be delayed until 2022. That's when like, oh, this is news.
Yeah,
Damn.
for sure. This is the thing. I think there's two ways you can look at it. I think obviously Kotaku is a huge gaming news outlet, right? And I'm sure there's a lot of news recently in the gaming world. It's hard to keep up with it all, right?
Okay.
Fair play. But at the same time, Halo Infinite has been one of the most talked about games for the Xbox platform, this last few years, right? It is almost impossible to not hear any news about this game. The fact that, this announcement, quote unquote, was put out with Chris Lee, studio head, in the bottom left corner. Chris Lee left 3 for free last year,
Yeah.
It's like, if you took, any time to read it or even click the account or tweeted it, you could tell that this was fake immediately. And I feel like either there's two things going on with Kotaku, right? They're not looking at their sources properly, or they're just trying to spread bad news, and just get clickbait.
Oh wow. So that's that.
Right. That is that. Kotaku, I'm coming for you.
So in other news, this is kind of sad, but Sony Japan studio closes down.
Yes, I did see.
Now,
it was, crazy.
Now, when you think about it, that is kind of, I don't want to say anti-Sony, right? Because I'm not aware of what Sony has done with the studio, except like I think they were more into like the horror games, maybe. I'm not sure. I have to read some more into the studio, Japan studio development stuff, right? But based on what the context says, these were the guys who made Silent Hill. Okay, here it goes. Silent Hill, Gravity Rush, the producer for Demon Souls. Okay. So what it is Silent Hill and Gravity Rush's creator, Toyama, and Demon Souls producer, Teruyuki Tori. Okay, so are they're brothers? I guess they're brothers. They have the same
Maybe
name. Hope, And then Bloodborne producer, Jiwa.
Okay.
Right. So these, we're talking about.
There's some big name titles in there, yeah.
Yes, but we're also talking about big name producers and creators and such. I have to ask why, because when I look at it, it's their excuse was, if I'm reading this right, that the games have not been successful, but then there was that playroom, Astro's Playroom.
Yep.
They wanted to expand on that. So you cancel a studio to expand on another studio.
Yeah.
But the Astro's Playroom was a demo, so I don't understand. You know what I mean? Like, if that's a demo to introduce what PlayStation 5 is all about, you would think that they would allow Sony's Japan studio to now start leveraging that technology to make it even better for other games or whatever. So what is it? It doesn't.
Yeah, there's a lot of things what I feel like Sony are doing recently what don't really make sense from from our point of view. I guess maybe if you're inside, they have more
deep inside, like the underground inside Sony is like something's going on. Because this leads to another topic we'll get into, but a lot of those creators and producers are now developing their own studios, right? Or
it's outside of Sony's branch work.
Well, they no longer belong to Sony. They closed the studio down. No.
Yeah, so they go independent.
Unless there's a contractual agreement, say even if the said studio closes, you still have a tenure with Sony game development or entertainment, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, understood. But I mean, this still does not bode well, at all.
Yeah, it's weird, man. Especially because the games. I think out of all the games you mentioned, the only one I hadn't heard was Gravity Rush. But I remember Bloodborne, and that was a huge game for the PS4.
Yeah.
And
That
Demon
wasn't
Souls obviously being remastered as well.
wasn't
PS5.
Bloodborne started in yeah, it is right, PS4. That's when it came out. You're right.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're right. Yo, that's
and these are
crazy.
huge games, and it's so weird that a couple years after that game's come out, they've just been kind of just axed.
Man, I'm
A bit weird.
you guys have to excuse me because I don't know how to read these names, but there's a part that says other Japan studio names to announce their departures in recent days are producers Yasutaka Asukura and Kentaro Motomura, and Gravity Rush character designer, Shunsuke Satio. Oh man, that's talent, dude. Keshoyama Toyama was he founded an independent bokeh game studio, which is already on the work on a new horror flavored action title. So these guys they're creating their own studios now. The question is, are these guys gonna come back to Sony as a platform that they'll put their game on? Are they gonna go towards a different platform or subscription or mobile? You know what I'm saying? This kind of
This is something I was thinking about when you kind of brought this topic up, that they're leaving Sony, and I'm going into conspiracy tinfoil hat mode right now.
well, they didn't leave Sony. Sony.
Well,
shut down
Sony, them, yeah.
And I mean, then the question would be, hey guys, would you like to still remain with Sony even though we've closed down the studio? And then how many people went out the door? How many people stayed? There is no answer for that. But
yeah,
man. But I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But yeah, I think if these guys haven't continued their tenureship with Sony, with Xbox trying to expand into that Japan market, is this a good time to pick up some new devs?
Look, I'm not trying to say anything specific, but Tango, if you're looking, there's some devs coming out of Sony that may need you. I'm just saying. Tango's a part of Bethesda that's now owned by Microsoft, and they are located in Japan. So, and I think 2 weeks ago they did put out an article saying that they are looking for they are hiring. Now, I believe it was for students, but now the students have to compete, because if these guys are coming out of Sony and they're looking for jobs,
experienced talent.
Tango Games is gonna be in a different predicament. I'm just saying. But I wish these guys well. These guys put out great games for Sony. They help keep Sony on top generation. PS3, PS4. So coming PS5 is these type of things is not what we want to hear. As far as gamers, but especially for those who are maining PS5. You definitely don't want to hear that. So, but I do wish the developers, luck and blessings definitely to getting that next job or developing your studio, because that's gonna be hard. To get back in and push your stuff out, unless you know somebody on the inside. So, but there's more. Let me get back to my notes.
Is this going where I think it's going? Is the question.
We're getting there. We're getting there. I try to. I really try to keep it for last, right? Really try to keep it for last. Outriders got released on this past week, the 1st of April.
Yes.
And it suffered some serious issues. Server downs. People stuck on the start screen. Kicked out of the game in the middle of combat. Cannot pause the game So it's kind of like it's a game of it's software as a service. So you're stuck in a single player game with no ability to pause the game because you're on the server, right? And people are asking for offline mode, mainly because of the situations where servers are kicking people out. Jen, okay, first and foremost, Jen, happy birthday, Jen.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Jen.
Happy birthday.
Okay, all right, stop. She doesn't want to hear you sing.
We don't want to get too far in.
But today's Jen's birthday. She's a definite follower. I just want to acknowledge her today. So enjoy. But yeah, it's kind of weird with all the hype. This reminds me, Outriders reminds me of another game that came out that suffered the same issues. Anthem.
Yes. Ooh, rest in peace.
That's so. I myself witnessed this to where when I play the game, I'm sitting probably 15 minutes waiting on the start screen. It says that I'm signed in, but nothing happens. It says authenticating. Nothing happens. So I go to I shut down the Xbox. I go to the Xbox. I unplug the Xbox. I power cycle the Xbox. I plug the Xbox back in, push it back on, thinking maybe it's a cache issue.
Yeah.
Nope.
Just not worked. Interesting. It's interesting to hear is because like online I've heard super great things about Anthem. I haven't really heard about Anthem Outriders.
Well,
I haven't really heard much about these issues, right?
Mm-hmm.
And for me, like I haven't. The only thing I did with Outriders so far is load it up. I didn't even get the chance to play it yet, so I've not experienced any of these things.
And it's funny because I should have looked at Twitter, because Twitter and Reddit is just going off the chain right now. Because of the amount of disconnects that people are getting in the game. This is kind of bad. Well, not kind of. This is bad. To a game that should have superseded a previous release, such as the Avengers. There was high hopes for this game to be that replacement. Multiplayer, co-op, shooter looter, stuff like that. What are your thoughts, Don? Because we have games like Outriders, Avengers, Destiny, that are single player but are dedicated, like server dedicated games. So if the server goes down, you can't play anymore, right? Do you feel like single player games should allow server side, to be server based, or should be offline single player with an option for co-op?
Yeah, for sure. I think I understand why they've kind of gone for this model they're in now. You look at other games like Destiny, where these games are online only. You want to have this kind of breathing world, and there's a lot of, I guess, you look at daily events, or I guess all server side and all that, like vendors and whatnot. But I'm sure you can transfer that to just an in-game system, or just rotating in and out. And I think given the players no choice about, like, you have to be online to play this, like, don't get me wrong, for most people that's not a problem. I think for issues like this on launch, where you're having these server issues constantly and you basically can't play the game, that's when you're running into issues. But I think this is a short-term problem. I think obviously with the game coming out, Game Pass, it's just come out, you're gonna get a lot of people jumping on those servers at once. So it'll be interesting to see how and if these things smooth out in like the next couple of days, or if they've already smoothed out even, but I think in the future I definitely like that kind of option, so I don't always have to be online. Maybe it doesn't affect me personally, but I think for a general kind of player experience, not just, if your connection is not great, just having the option to, hey, at least I can still play this game and enjoy it without having to just be locked online.
Well, the fact that this game is online and it's a single player experience with no plans of expanding the game. And now there is what is it called? End game content, right? But it's not like a Destiny game where oh, this game is gonna continue to move forward and move forward and move
Yeah,
forward.
live service.
But
deal,
but it sits on a live service foundation.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's a bit of a weird middle ground, right?
I mean, we do know there's a roadmap. We do know that there's end game content, and then I think what they're looking to do, and this is just my 2 cents, not really an opinion, if you will, that the game may still be some sort of a beta experience. One of the things that I see is PlayLab is a part of the plugins or features of the game. Now, PlayLab is a feature that Microsoft offers to game devs that can look at the community as they are playing live, and they can do adjustments on the fly without having to deal with code. So for instance, if I'm playing Outriders with Don CJG has this one weapon that is underpowered, sucks, and it causes him to die multiple times, just for instance. Right? It's like he's shooting, but there's no hit markers, there's no the enemies on lives are not going down or anything like that. If they have each weapon situated to be a part of the PlayLab library, I'm just saying things so it makes sense. I'm not sure what it actually is called. They can optimize that gun specifically at will at any point in time in the game and say, okay, we notice that people are using this gun the most. It's overpowered, it's underpowered, it's doing the right things, the wrong things, and then they would optimize that weapon so that it benefits the game and the playability, longevity, and so forth. Let's say something like Destiny, where you have like these public events that happens in the game. They can make public events happen faster or shorter by a toggle or by a switch. The playability PlayLab and its functionality allows you to do that, where you can take control of how your game is being played and optimize it for specific reasons. Do want to apologize. I did notice that OBS did crash a little bit, but it did not stop the stream. It just stopped the connection for probably like 2 to 3 seconds. So for you guys, and again, thank you very much for staying in. But yeah,
maybe OBS crashing again, right?
It was like a soft crash, if you will. Like it just stopped and then it came back. It reconnected. So definitely like that. Bro. Sony, right? Is closing all digital storefronts for PlayStation 3, PS Portable, PSP, PlayStation Vita, and all that is going to be done kaput on August 27th.
Yes, there was I did have rumors of this circling last week, which so unfortunately we had time, we didn't get to discuss everything we wanted to all the time, but this was something I was going to bring up, and there were rumors at the time, and now obviously it's been confirmed. PSP and PS3 stores closing July 2nd, and the Vita closing August 27th. It's kind of crazy, right? I say crazy. I mean, I understand the logic of kind of closing up these old storefronts now, right? You know, it's cost, and then how people are actually buying stuff through it. But at the same time, it does make you think, and I've seen this point brought up online a lot as well. Are Sony caring for that kind of back compat catalog? What about the legacy of what games they've had in the past, and are they just throwing that away? That's what it kind of feels like right now.
that's a it's a good question, but the thing about it is, what for them to do this, did they do an analysis of how many PS3, PSP gamers out there are still playing on these platforms? You know what I'm saying? Like
the PSP, I imagine not.
Okay, but I have to think, like, there are people out there, countries who don't have that internet connection, who are dependent on developers who still make games for mobile PlayStation games, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because apparently there were devs who were still making something for the PlayStation Vita, I believe, or PSP, and then they basically stopped. Either it's one of two things: either they're stopping production, or they have to start over and push to mobile devices or something, because that's interesting. Now, why would Sony do this? Why would Sony close the storefronts? The only thing that comes to mind is, I believe it's PlayStation Collection. I think Collection is where the games are backwards compatible towards PlayStation, like the PS1, PS2, PS3, Vita. You know what I'm saying? And I could be saying it wrong, because I think PS Now is for the PS3, PS4, or is it just PS4 games?
I'm not too sure. I think that's right.
But if they're trying to stop sales so they can make sales, I don't know if that's a good deal, because when we think about Game Pass, the only games that you cannot buy are games that are outside Microsoft licensing. And I mean this to say, they are when Japanese studios made games for Xbox Original, you would hear music in the background that is still licensed and requires the permission of said artist, creator, designer, producer to write off and say it's okay to be on Game Pass, or it's okay to be sold on the Xbox store, something like that. So because people, some people may have died, they have moved on, they are no longer could be found, they're in a country somewhere, don't want to be bothered, they don't have phones, people moved on. So in that essence, if Microsoft can't find them, they can't sell them. So I have to worry about that when it comes to the PS3 and the Vita and so forth, because there are games that were exclusively sold on those devices. You won't find them on the PS3, PS4, PS5 on back compat, because they were dedicated to that hardware. So question is, what will happen to that? They did say that if you purchased a game, you would be able to re-download them from the store, right? But if you see somebody playing that game and you look at your PSP, you haven't bought it, the store it says cannot connect, no longer available, to serve or whatever.
Yeah, you're locked out of that.
You're done.
Experience.
So that's a big thing. That is a big thing.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's seeing that in comparison to, I guess, the kind of thought path of Xbox, the way they're handling this kind of back compat. It seems two so different strategies,
Yeah.
That Xbox really kind of care about this kind of legacy they've had, these older games, and hey, whatever games you own, or not even, obviously, if you got your PlayStation game, you can still own them, but keeping that system alive. You look, I don't know if it's the same, I don't have a PlayStation, I can't speak to this per se, but you look at the Xbox store, all those, the 360 store is integrated onto that now,
Right.
So I kind of begs the question, are Sony going to do that, or are they just shutting this old thing down and that's it?
Seeing the shift in the industry, of which we're going to talk about in a minute, I can see them doing that, and it's going to be something where, and now you can play PSP games on our streaming service. You know what I'm saying? Because when I think about it, I think the PSP games might be more compatible to their PlayStation Now streaming service than something like the remake of Demon Souls, right? Because that's 4K 60, as far as I know, 4K 60. So that the 4K 60 would struggle on a PS Now, right, for streaming purposes, versus a PSP game that's low res but still have its replayability. I can see them doing that, honestly. But I don't think I can see them selling a game, selling a legacy game like that. On the Xbox, you will still see like Xbox One, the OG Xbox, Xbox 360, Xbox One, and the Series S, Series X all selling on the same store.
Yeah, it's unified.
Yeah, and it's mainly because of how Microsoft handled the licensing at the end of the day. And that's we're looking at that now. Today, we're seeing how the business practices have been utilized over the generations.
Yeah, could you say it's potential lack of foresight on Sony's?
Well, I wouldn't say. Yeah, you're right. It's a lack of foresight, because who thought streaming games would have become that much demanding, right? Or games with a subscription, such as Game Pass, following the Netflix strategy, would be that much of a boost in entertainment for gaming. So yeah, it's very interesting how we see Sony handling things. And then speaking of that, MLB The Show.
Yep.
Don, what comes?
Big news.
What happened with the show? How did it show?
MLB The Show.
Yeah.
So obviously we talked about this a few episodes ago. That MLB was coming to the Xbox ecosystem now, right?
Yeah.
And produced by Sony Santa Monica, is that right?
That is correct. Yeah.
I want to say. Yep. So this is a Sony first-party title, and it's now coming to Xbox Game Pass day one on, I believe, April 20th. I believe that's the right date.
Yep.
And it's kind of crazy to see a Sony first-party title on Xbox Game Pass.
Well, it's kind of interesting to see a PlayStation game on an Xbox, period.
Yeah, but then adding the first party and then adding Game Pass on top of that.
I'm just saying.
It's a bit nutty. Especially when you kind of look at the greater context of that, with this game is $70 on PlayStation Store, PS5, right?
Yes.
And you can join Game Pass for $1.
Well, no, you can also join PlayStation Now for $1 now.
But is it going to be on PlayStation Now?
That is the question.
No, I don't believe it. As of right now, that is not confirmed.
And based on something that Jim Ryan has said in the past, that he has no intentions of porting first-party games into PlayStation Now, and this was a year or 2 years ago, and now we've seen MLB come into Game Pass. It just tells me that the studio is interested in people playing their games. More than ever. So imagine this: for no additional cost, Xbox gamers who have Game Pass can play MLB The Show 21 day one.
Yep.
Right. Unlike PlayStation Now, which is a streaming platform first, I think they recently allow you to download games. I think as of within the year now. Game Pass allows you to install the game onto the platform of choice. That's Xbox One. No, it's a next gen game, right? So it'll be Series S and Series X. Forbid that it goes on not PC, but on mobile devices, because then a done deal is over.
Right.
I'm saying, because what other game was it? I was looking to play Outriders on my phone. It wasn't there. So imagine if that was a possibility, it would have been a done deal. Trust me.
Yeah.
So the only thing that separates the Game Pass, well, not game, Sony from Xbox as far as the streaming platform is, Xbox utilizes the xCloud. xCloud is a feature that's made available to the Ultimate users, the Game Pass Ultimate users. Could it be a separate feature? It could be down the line later on if Microsoft sees it that way. But xCloud is PlayStation Now's competitor, technically, because PlayStation Now has always been a streaming platform first. They purchased Gaikai and rebranded it to be PlayStation Now, or built it into PlayStation Now. So what PlayStation needs to do is to allow people to download the game and to allow first-party games day one, and change that price. Change that price to be either equal to or competing with Xbox, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this is for people who are saying, why is it not coming to PlayStation Now? It's because if you put it on PlayStation Now, it's going to be a streaming game, and who's going to stream a 4K 60 game?
Yeah. Just not.
On mobile devices, it is down-resed for the purpose of mobile devices, but the best thing I can say is look at Stadia.
Right. Yeah, it was interesting to see. You look at MLB, which is another sports game coming to Game Pass now, right?
Right.
And you look at what happened last month with 2K21, NHL, Madden,
FIFA.
All these games. Yeah, FIFA's coming next month, right?
PES.
Football Manager, like all these games.
Yep.
Came to Game Pass pretty recently, and now MLB as well. You look at. I feel like Game Pass is becoming a place to play all genres of games. It's kind of crazy. You look at these, smaller games. You got your kind of indie titles on there. You've got your sports games now. You've got your shooters with 343 and the Coalition. You've got your RPGs from Bethesda. You've got your racing games from Turn 10, and you got Dirt on there as well now. Like, Game Pass is coming kind of insane at this point. And seeing all these games come every month, and I've said it in our Discord a few times. I feel like Xbox keeps dropping the bombs, and I feel like Sony just hasn't really had a reply in terms of the news.
Don, do you remember when Phil Spencer said that they no longer want to be competitors within the console war?
Yes.
Do you remember when they said this is going to be, they're done with, what was it? Something with consoles. They're no longer looking at console sales anymore.
Yeah, it's console sales.
All right. So, while I was looking at this situation with MLB and this and that, right? Something came to my mind. Who is a direct competitor to Microsoft right now? Like, who have the potential to pimp slap Game Pass right now? That you know?
To slap Game Pass in terms of the gaming, I think Stadia is only the real thing I can kind of.
There's a sleeping giant.
Yeah.
Right now.
Is there?
It's in the open, but nobody's thinking about it.
I'm clearly not thinking about it either.
Except for the small but great majority of people, right, who believe that their device is the savior of the world that beats any other devices. I'm just saying, this is the reaction I get when people talk to me about it, and that competitor is Apple Arcade.
Apple Arcade, oh wow. Okay.
Trust me when I tell you. I had to think about this for a quick sec. These guys have been in subscription models day one when the first iPhone was released and they had apps.
Yes.
Okay. They had, Bungie was supposed to be on Apple, uh, as far as a game dev and whatever. The first
Oh yeah,
Halo
back in the
game,
day. Yeah.
back in the day. Um, well, now when people think of Apple and games, they think about playing it on their iPhones and stuff like that. But nobody, not when I say nobody, I mean like in the gaming community that's on PC and Xbox and PlayStation, Nintendo. As far as I'm concerned, when they think of gaming on a Mac, they don't think of it highly. Like,
Yeah.
it's nothing to belittle, trust me, but they don't think of it as like, oh, on a Mac, okay, cool. Like, okay, cool. I think the Apple Arcade is growing to be a giant within a subscription model. So far,
Yeah, I could see what happened, man. You look at that mobile market is huge.
well, I'm not talking mobile market though, because Apple Arcade will work for your Mac, your iMac, your MacBook Pro.
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying? They have multiple devices.
Yeah,
like
they're
everything
expanded now.
everything that Microsoft
Switch.
is targeting, Apple has it already. Tablet, mobile phones, desktops, laptops. It's a
I see what you're saying. Because it's all within the Apple ecosystem already.
You're right. Yes. It's
Yeah,
already
you don't
there.
need to go.
You don't need
okay,
to
I see
talk
what
to
you're
me.
saying.
You don't need to say, "Yo, Android, what's up?" Man, we got our own phones. You don't need. You trust when I tell you that.
And
That's
this is why xCloud isn't on iOS.
I'm telling you. I mean, since when did Apple ever consider Android competitive enough to say, "Hey, let's join hands"? Never. Android is open source. Apple is closed source.
Yep.
So it makes sense. But the question is, how long is it gonna take until we see Apple reveal its head? That's the question, because Apple Arcade costs $5. Xbox Game Pass costs $10.
Yeah.
I don't even know how many tiers the Apple Arcade has, but that is something to consider as a gamer. It's like,
Yeah,
okay,
I think it's definitely something to keep an eye on. I don't really know too much about it. I don't know if there's any big games on there either, to be fair.
I think Square Enix dropped something a while ago.
Okay. Yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see, if you get these bigger third party, like an Outriders kind of thing that dropped like an Apple Arcade or something, that'd just be insane. That's an Apple Arcade.
So when I'm looking at this, the best are okay. So it says the best Apple Arcade games right now. They got this game that looks like it's Minecraft, but it's not. Crosby Road Castle. So I guess that's like an imitation of Minecraft a little bit. It looks like it. It's all squared and stuff. And then they have the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. And then
oh wow,
Assemble with Care, not sure. Card of Darkness, Cat Quest 2, Chuku Chuku Rocket Universe, Crossy Roadcast. I think I mentioned that already. Earth Knight. What was the game? There's a game that Outriders is going to Apple Arcade.
is it?
I'm wondering.
If it is, that'd be insane. If it does, that'd be kind of crazy.
Grindstone, Manifold Garden, Mutsazuni, Neocab. I think Neocab sounds familiar. Oceanhorn 2. You played Oceanhorn 1, right?
I feel like I don't. I know I recognize that name, but I don't know if I played it.
It's on the Xbox. I'm not sure if it's on Game Pass though.
Don't
Overland,
think so.
Pinball Wizard, Sayonara Wild Hearts. So basically guys with swords standing on bikes, motorcycles. That's interesting.
Huh.
Shantae and the Seven Sirens. Shin Sakai Into the Depths. That looks like a cool game. Sneaky Sasquatch and Ultimate Rivals. Ultimate Rivals looks like think of the Xbox rival game, the one that was for the Kinect.
Oh yeah.
Think of that.
Sports Rivals.
and you mix that with PlayStation Home. I'm talking about characters. Like these guys look like actual human beings. They don't look like
Okay.
like caricatures. If
So
you will.
yeah, so it definitely got like a healthy amount of
Varieties.
games on there. Yeah.
Right. What is golf? And they say many more. So they have some leverage here, but from what I understand, they only have 30 games, whereas Microsoft has 500 plus.
Yeah.
So the variety is still with the Xbox Game Pass, but it's just the fact that these guys are still going. Stadia has
Yeah, they haven't given up on it yet.
you know what I'm saying? Stadia, no. It's interesting. Stadia said that they released all their devs, right? They let go of their devs,
Yep.
but then they hire a new dev to make a game like a month later. So that's kind of weird. But so Stadia is still there, but another person sleeping. Not sure how hard, but they're there. And then we still got Luna from Amazon.
Yep.
And then we got Nvidia Shield. So we got some contenders. This is why I believe strategically that Sony put my MLB on the Game Pass, because Game Pass has more subscribers, more number.
Yeah.
They have reliable numbers, proof to show success with games being released financially and long term, if you will. So when I look at MLB going to the Game Pass, trust me, I was shocked because I thought Sony was gonna be
Oh yeah, same.
very stubborn, right? Like we're not gonna do it. We're gonna make our own, or like
Yeah. The fact that it was going to Xbox was, crazy enough news as it was, but hearing it come to Game Pass is just like,
Game Pass
is this real?
day one,
Yeah.
and you don't pay nothing for it except for your subscription on Game Pass. That is just nonsense.
Yeah, for sure. Because I remember, when we talked about it coming to Xbox in the first place, I didn't even know what MLP was.
Gotcha.
Right? And, now that it's on Game Pass, I'm like, hey, maybe I'll check this out.
So now that this has happened, do you think Sony's gonna push some more games onto Game Pass, or do you think this is gonna be just the one, the end all be all, right? So that boom, we just put this on there to see how many people will buy it, but we still doing our own thing.
I think they're using MLB as a testing ground.
I concur.
If I'm being honest. I think, depending how this goes, which I think it's going to go well, we could see some more. I don't think we're going to see a God of War or anything, but I definitely could see.
Look, I'm sorry.
Some other.
I'm sorry. We're talking about a PlayStation Santa Monica studio, right? We're not saying, what's the name of those guys? What's the name of those guys? Like Insomniac. Who's exclusive? The studio by name, PlayStation Santa Monica Studio.
Yeah.
So, I would not put it past them to see a God of War on the Game
Yeah.
Pass. You know what I'm saying?
Right. But yeah.
I mean, it might
It's
take
what
a
I'm
minute.
saying.
It might take a minute. It might be like, we're not gonna do it, and then it's kind of like down the road. Okay, we've maxed out on how many people purchase the games. I'm gonna do it on Game Pass. Get it done. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's
For sure.
That's salty
Maybe
decision.
like a couple years you could see older PlayStation exclusives come to Game Pass.
I don't know. I think they'll probably
Maybe.
do more newer games. You know what I'm saying? Like
Maybe.
I can see more newer games becoming, but like the older games, I probably would stay exclusive and put onto PlayStation Now or PlayStation Collection, because you have to keep in mind the PlayStation Now and Collection are out. They have the potential to be outside of the console itself, on TVs and phones and so forth, tablets and things like that. There's potential for that. So I don't see them putting the previous games like Spider-Man, Miles Morales on Game Pass.
Yeah.
So, but Yeah, man. I am
Yeah,
looking
this is
hopeful.
open. It's open like a whole new dimension, right?
Yeah,
It's like, yeah.
I'm definitely hoping. So because I know Dio is hoping too. Yo, that Genshin Impact. Come on, bring it over, Tencent. Or whoever got it, Neo company. um, I'm just saying. What's the other one? Final Fantasy 14. Let's go, Square Enix, who've been exclusive to PlayStation for all these years. Just saying.
Yes,
Um,
he's just saying.
just saying.
We're looking at you, Sony.
Uh,
We're looking.
Square
I know you're
Enix,
watching.
I'm saying.
I know Jim Ryan's watching this right
Yeah. um, but
Imagine.
other than that, has there been anything else that you picked up on this week?
Yes, there's a few things.
All right.
I'll start it off with couple rumors. Have something to, you know me. I love a good rumor.
Gosh, this guy.
And new rumors for the Call of Duty for this year have been circulating.
Huh.
It's that time. They always start about February, March. And Call of Duty 2021 rumored to be called World War II Vanguard.
Why are we still in World War II?
Yeah, it's strange little turn of events, really. Can't lie.
Okay.
See another World War II game. But that being said, I did quite enjoy Call of Duty World War II. I think it was, I guess, using their marketing term. Which I'm gonna hate myself for using this. Boots on the ground. That was the big slogan they will push them all year round when they announced that game.
Oh wow.
I saw a montage when that game was coming out of just them in this conference, and they must have said that phrase about 40 times. So it's actually being developed by Sledgehammer Games.
Yeah. It's
Which
been a while
is
since it's been a while.
yeah. Well, they were rumored to be out of a development cycle for a couple of years now, which is kind of strange to see them back in the loop. I'm not really sure what's happened there, but they made World War II, and I enjoyed World War II, so I'm interested to see where this one goes.
Okay.
Using the same engine as Modern Warfare 2019 and Black Ops Cold War.
2019.
Which, yeah. So, it's using that new Call of Duty engine. So we will see how that goes. There's a couple other Call of Duty news what happened lately, and I think this one's a bit spicy, to be honest, Alex.
Okay.
There was a leaked trailer online, and this has caught a lot of like global headlines now, so I think we're safe to speak about it. I think the first couple of things what actually like started leaking this. Ooh, we got a dog barking in the background.
That's your
Close
dog.
that window. That is my dog. Yeah, there was when this trailer came out a couple days, about a week ago, maybe a couple days ago. It showed. We don't actually know what it was referring to exactly. Maybe it's a new season. They're not called Call of Duty. But it was showing the Call of Duty Warzone getting a new map. And once that came out, there was a lot of lawsuits going around from Activision actually kind of taking down these people who were kind of revealing this. Which, fair play, it's news, but I think the DMCA people throwing out lawsuits was very, very wild, drastic action,
Right.
I felt like it was just a bit like, I understand this is, something Activision want to keep on the wraps and
Right.
bring out the players eventually, but literally like bring people to court over it seems a bit much, man.
The only reason why I would say that's valid is if someone was provided that information in secret and then it went out there. Kind of like the whole EA situation where you had devs giving away stuff, right? So both parties got sued. So in this case, somebody got wind of something and then they spoke to someone internally and they said, yeah, this is true, and then they pushed it out there without permission. I can see that. But if it's just a whole bunch of nobodies, be like, oh yeah, this happened, bro, it's coming out, and then nobody has a clue, and then Activision is issuing out DC those who's it DCMA
DMCA's one.
DMCA
Yeah.
DMCA whatever. Then you're just saying it's true, and whatever is out there now is a done deal at this point. Is you might as well continue to say, hey, this is what's happening, because unless it's not ready, it's not finalized, which still shouldn't have been made public to anyone.
It was kind of crazy, man.
Unless they got hacked.
I don't think so.
But I don't think they would even reveal that they did get hacked, to be honest.
Yeah. I don't think they would either.
Yeah, they're too good for that, right?
Yeah. And got some hardware news for Xbox as well.
Oh, you're talking about a headset, aren't you?
I'm talking about something else as well. What went a bit under the radar last week, actually. I feel like no one really talked about this, but I thought when I saw it, I was like, okay, whatever. And then you start reading the details, and you look at it's going to seem such a minor thing on this scale, but I think looking at it going forward, I think it'd be quite cool. Xbox actually announced something was releasing on April 27th, and that's 2 new controllers.
Oh, really?
Yes. So, Series X style controller for bringing out the Electric Volt, which is a green with a bit of white and black, and Daystride Camo, which is like a black and red camo controller, right? So, they do look like your regular controller. However, they're actually made of recycled plastics, such as like bottles, car headlight covers, and CDs and whatnot.
So hopefully it's cheaper then.
Yeah, potentially. I'm thinking you look at a controller now, it's I think like £50, $60. It's crazy. Yeah. It's crazy. So you look at these made of recycled materials, perhaps what are just as sturdy, just as durable. And because you're not making these in recycling, so I imagine the cost to make them is cheaper. So potentially consumer costs would be cheaper. And designs are super cool. And you look at other brands, maybe not necessarily related to gaming, but look at Nike and Adidas. They've been doing this as well with their shoes.
Right.
And seeing this from Microsoft now. Making controllers out of these very same materials, I think that's a really cool step forward. And look at these evolution of controllers going forward. The Elite Series 3, potentially the Horizon. Are we going to see these same kind of materials? Sleeker design, better textures, maybe lighter.
No,
I think they're kind of investing in longevity.
See, from a business perspective, to me that speaks. Like their what is it called? If you want to capture a certain type of people or community, those that would be people who are very adamant about saving the world, one bottle at a time, environmentalists, people who are into greenhousing and solar and all that kind of stuff. I'm trying to find a word, but it's not coming to me, so I'm creating. I'm basically.
you're kind of aiming at a specific target demographic,
right?
Kind of.
Right. People who don't believe that trash should be thrown anywhere and everywhere.
Yeah.
Even in space.
Right.
Because it comes back. So, I think that is a smart move, because that's no different than them creating the controllers for children with disabilities.
Yeah.
Right. You're appealing to a certain type of community that's probably not being thought of. So that's great news. That's great news. Cool.
Yeah. I was really excited about that. It seemed like something really small, and I thought, looking at designs and these things, alone are really cool. And I think you kind of learn about that story behind them. I think that's awesome.
Nice.
But obviously that's not our only hardware news.
Yeah.
We have a new Xbox headset. Another one.
Yep.
on the horizon.
It's not by Xbox, but it's been
Yes,
optimized
an
for
Xbox
Xbox. Yeah.
partners.
Yeah.
And, I'm going to destroy this pronunciation. Xbox have partnered with Bang & Olufsen. BeoPlay Portal is the name of the headset. And this is a kind of premium headset, custom made for gaming by this company.
Yes.
And it seems like a more hardcore alternative to the headset what released more recently, which was $99
Mm-hmm.
for your general market. This one seems a lot more upmarket and premium
Mm-hmm.
at a hefty price tag of £450 or $500,
Yep.
or the same price as a Series X console. So this is it's a hefty price tag for this headset, man, but it looks really nice.
So, let me ask you a question, Don.
Yes.
Are you into music?
Relatively, yeah.
I mean, how deeply into music are you?
I wouldn't say I'm I wouldn't say I'm listening for every single little thing and
Okay.
looking at waveforms or anything like that.
Well,
So,
okay. I got you. So, when I think of this, and the the Bang headset,
Yep.
the B and O, if you will,
yeah.
because I don't know how to say that. Olufsen, Bang and Olufsen, if that's the right way of saying it. The headset comes across, like you said, premium, and I think these are for the audio enthusiasts who not only plays game in high def, audio wise, but when you're on the go and you're listening to music, you're getting that uninterrupted audio as well. Like, think about, like, for me, if I were to produce music, I would get a set of headphones that is just completely balanced. No sense of equalization, boost, or anything. It's just flat. The music is completely flat. So I'm hearing it as it was produced. The headset is not adding anything to it.
Yeah.
Those headsets, they range around the same price or more, in comparison to this, and like the Corsairs and the Turtle Beaches and things of that nature. The headset also is advocating the Adobe Atmos feature as well. When you buy it, you'll be getting Adobe Atmos as well with it. To support. So $500 is a lot of money, to be honest. And if you just bought a Series X, I would go with the Xbox version first, right? And then get the other one, because when the Xbox headsets came out, a few people had some problems. I mean, you're not hearing about it now because it's been resolved, because with the Xbox headset, it's being updated wirelessly through the console, right?
Yeah. So
they're able to fix it on stuff like that. With the $500 joint, I'm not
that thing better come out.
that joint better come off pristine and working as expected, as desired, as recommended.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people will be returning that joint. It cannot be treated like how these devs make games and then it crashes every 24 seconds.
Can't be the Cyberpunk of headsets, right?
Oh my gosh. No offense, but still. But these guys are reputable people. They've been making headsets for 95 years? They've been in the audio business for 95 years. So unlike studios, these guys, these is a legacy. These guys have a legacy of audio. So I can't confirm anything. I can't say, you will be happy, because I don't know who they are. I'm hearing them for the first time. But because of their age, I would hope that when you get it, you'll be blown away, right?
Yeah.
So awesome on that find. Awesome for Xbox for partnering, because that's another community of people who believe in those specific brands who probably would get it and get an Xbox. Actually, I can see it where Xbox and them have a combined product. You know, for,
Yeah.
$4,000 on eBay. Oh gosh, yeah.
And that's
pun.
releasing
That was
April 29th as well.
So
That'll be out end of this month.
but congrats.
That'll be interesting to see what people think of it.
Yeah, so you heard it today, guys. MLB is going to Xbox day one on Game Pass. One thing that I forgot to mention is that Mario, the collection of Mario games are no longer going to be sold digitally on the Nintendo, and it ended already on the 31st of March. They do have plans for more Mario games, but by collection, I'm wondering if that's like Mario 1, 2, 3, Super, like when the Super NES and things of that nature.
Yeah.
Things like that. So keep that in mind when you go to your Switch looking for a Mario game. But yeah. Again, this is the Don CJG. Where can they find you, Don?
You can find me pretty much everywhere under the Don CJG. Doing a lot of Twitch streaming, so you can check out my schedule there.
Murdering on Halo.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Awesome. He's definitely on Twitch, so troll him for a minute.
Come say hi. I don't know what the whole trolling thing.
And then I am Ebonic. You can get me on Twitch. On Twitter as well. So other than that, thank you very much for being a part of the podcast today. We're here every Saturday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Yes, sir.
Have a good day, guys.
See you later, guys.